Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into another classic in my Is It Worth Playing in 2026 series. This time we're looking at Resident Evil Code Veronica X on the Xbox 360. Originally released on the Dreamcast before making its way to other platforms, Code Veronica has become something of a fan favorite over the years. While it may not have a numbered title, many fans consider it one of the most important games in the Resident Evil storyline. The question is, over 2 decades after its original release, does it still deserve your time in 2026? After spending time with the game, here's what I think. Without spoiling the story, Resident Evil Code Veronica follows Claire Redfield as she continues searching for her brother Chris. After being captured by Umbrella, Claire finds herself imprisoned on Rockford Island, but things quickly spiral out of control when a virus outbreak turns the island into a nightmare. The adventure eventually takes players to Antarctica, introducing memorable characters, creepy environments, and some major moments that have had a lasting impact on the Resident Evil series. If you played Resident Evil 2 and have wondered what happened next for Claire, this game answers that question while also expanding the role of several important characters in the franchise. When it comes to gameplay, this is classic Resident Evil through and through. You'll be dealing with tank controls, fixed camera angles that shift as you move through each area, limited inventory space, puzzles, backtracking, and constantly managing your ammunition and healing items. If you're someone who grew up with the original Resident Evil games, you'll probably feel right at home. If you're coming from the recent remakes or the more action-focused entries in the series, there will definitely be an adjustment period. The controls aren't as smooth as modern games, but once you get used to them, they become part of the experience rather than a distraction. One thing Code Veronica still does exceptionally well is creating tension. Every hallway feels dangerous because you never know what's waiting around the next corner. Ammunition isn't handed out like candy, so every shot matters. There were several moments where I found myself debating whether it was worth fighting an enemy or simply trying to avoid it and conserve resources for later. That feeling of constantly weighing your options is something that made the early Resident Evil games so memorable, and Code Veronica captures that perfectly. The atmosphere also deserves a lot of credit. Even though the game originally released in 2000, the environment still managed to feel unsettling. The HD version on Xbox 360 gives the game a cleaner look without taking away its original style, and the soundtrack does an excellent job of building suspense without becoming overwhelming. While the visuals obviously can't compete with modern releases, they still have plenty of charm, and the game's art direction has aged much better than you might expect. That said, this isn't a perfect game. Code Veronica has a reputation for being one of the more difficult entries in the series, and after playing it, I could definitely understand why. The game doesn't always explain where you should go next. Some puzzles require careful exploration, and poor resource management early on can make later sections significantly harder. There are also moments where players can unknowingly leave important items behind or find themselves entering boss fights with very little ammunition or healing supplies. Modern games usually give players ways to recover from mistakes, but Code Veronica expects you to learn through trial and error. Some players will appreciate that old school challenge, while others may find it frustrating. The voice acting is another area that shows the game's age. Like many games from that era, some performances can be a little over the top and cheesy by today's standards. Personally, I think it adds to the charm, but your mileage may vary. The controls also won't be for everyone. Tank controls are often one of the biggest hurdles for players trying classic survival horror games for the first time. If you've never played one before, don't be surprised if it takes a little while before everything starts to feel comfortable. As for performance, the Xbox 360 HD version still holds up very well. The game runs smoothly, the updated visuals are a nice improvement over the original console releases, and if you own a newer Xbox console, it's also playable through backward compatibility, making it one of the easiest ways to experience this classic today. So is Resident Evil Code Veronica X worth playing in 2026? I think the answer is yes. If you're a fan of classic survival horror, or you're working your way through the Resident Evil series, this is absolutely a game you should experience. It tells one of the franchise's most important stories, offers some genuinely tense gameplay, and still captures everything that made the early Resident Evil games so special. However, if you're someone who only enjoys modern controls, frequent checkpoints, and streamlined gameplay, this one may test your patience. This game is not perfect, and there are certainly aspects that haven't aged gracefully, but the atmosphere, story, exploration, and survival horror gameplay continue to make it a memorable experience more than 25 years after its original release. If you enjoyed this review, I'd really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. It really helps support the channel and lets me know you're enjoying this series. If you'd like to support the channel even further, be sure to check out my Patreon. My latest Patreon exclusive video is part 1 of how expensive has gaming really become, where I take a deep dive into how the cost of gaming has changed over the years and what it means for the gamers today. Your support helps make more videos like this possible, and I truly appreciate you checking it out. Have you played Resident Evil Code Veronica X? Do you think it still holds up today, or do you think it's long overdue for a full remake? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, game on.